It's Brian with FishingHype.com with your KentuckyLake.com tip of the week. Today is not going to be so much a tip on how to catch more fish, but a tip on saving you more time to get more casts in. And you always never know that it takes one more cast to catch the fish of a lifetime. So today's going to be about organization, both in the rod box and then tackle, the tackle trays or your tackle boxes, what have you. Everybody's setup's a little bit different. You know, some people use the tackle bags yet. I still do. If I'm, on a trip with a buddy or something, I'll grab my 3700s and stick them in there. Otherwise, I've got a lot of the boats now have systems built into them for the tackle boxes. But to start with is, they've been around a long time, and I still see a lot of guys that don't use them, and it doesn't matter if you're a boater, non-boater, weekend guy, professional guy, whatever, but the rod covers, these things are one of the greatest things to come out for protecting rods. Not only do they keep you from being tangled up a lot, they just protect the outer cover of the rod. You can keep everything organized by different color and whatnot. There's different models out there. They all kind of use the same material. These here I use are Slicks rod covers by Caswin Industries. The one thing I really like about theirs, and actually there's two of them, they roll their product out rather than in, so you're not going to hit the eyes when you're sliding them on and off. And they've already got a built-on elastic band that when you get your rod down and you can put it around the handle. I know a lot of times in rod lock it really doesn't matter, but I've rode passenger before and guys' boats have them, and the wind will just kind of shuffle these things off, and next thing you know, you lost them. It's so much easier just to slip that on and you've got it. They're different ones, color coded. The real good thing about that in the rod lockers is a lot of rod lockers, and this one had it, they had rod tubes in them, and that's great, but you can only get so many rods in the rod tubes. So I'm going to show you here what this looks like having all these in there. And now you can take out your rod tubes and put in 15, 20, 30 rods, however many you want, inside your rod locker, and they're not going to get tangled up. I mean, you can grab a spinning rod out of there and grab my swim bait rod out of there, grab my jig rod out of there. Here's a top water bait. I can pull that out of there. And you notice I pulled them all out. I didn't have to fight with anything. They weren't, line didn't get wrapped around another rod, and I'm down there wasting time trying to get a rod undone. It's a big deal during tournaments, but even if you're just a weekend guy out there, you don't want to be fighting with your tackle to have a good time fishing. And the other one is different boats are set up different ways. My Triton on this system here, and this two-door system, has a system for the 3700s. And so all my tackle trays are in here, all my different crankbaits that I'm going to need for the season. Got my frogs in here. I number all my tackle, 3 to 8 foot crankbaits, 4 to 10 foot crankbaits. This stuff's starting to wear off, but I got frogs on here, 14 to 20 foot crankbaits. Got my jig box, and even in them, keeping everything organized. Here's where I got all my Outcast tackle jigs. I've got all my flipping jigs over here, size-wise down to the, from my 3/8 to halves to my 3/4. Got my finesse jigs in here. My football jigs, the T2s, 3/8, halves, and 3/4. My swim jigs, got them all organized that way. That way you're not digging through all these trying to figure out what they are, where things are at. The more you can keep yourself organized, the more casts you're going to be able to make in a day, and you're going to know where your stuff is. And the more casts, the more chances you have of catching another big fish out there on the lake. So just keep yourself organized. It'll definitely help put more fish in your boat, not technique-wise, but just give you more chances of making more casts. So until next time, this is Captain Brian Brown with FishingHype.com, Fishing Hype Guide Service, and this is your KentuckyLake.com tip of the week.